5, 4, 3, 2. It didn't even get to 1. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a conversation with, and I am your host, Floyd Marshall Jr. And today we are joined by a very, very, very special guest, Miss Taniqua Jones. She's special because she's special, but this is the daughter. Okay, we gonna take this back. We're gonna take this back. If you are familiar with the legendary Wu Tang clan, the 36 Chambers, Shaolin, okay, the RZA, Method Man, ODB, the whole lineup. If you are familiar with that iconic rap group that basically, and I'm serious, they straight up changed the game.
Yes.
It's just amazing, what they did when they hit the scene. This young lady is the daughter of the extremely talented ODB. So it is an absolute honor to have her on my show. Not only, I met Taniqua, when did we meet? A little over a month ago at a Wu Tang event that a nonprofit that I'm a part of put on along with Chase Flow International. Shout out to Chase.
Yeah,
Flow.
shout out to Chase.
Shout out to Wavy Jones in the building.
Wavy as well.
Yes. And
the twins too.
And the twins, Eli Lou. I cannot be remiss because they would be like, really, Floyd, you didn't mention us. But it was a fantastic event, and we did a small interview there, and I was just very curious, to really go a little bit more in depth. So I asked Taniqua to come on the show, and she graciously accepted. So here we are, and I'm just ready to, jump into this. And once again, I am joined by the amazing Taniqua Jones. Taniqua, welcome to A Conversation With. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, yeah, it's so how's everything going? How have you been? How you doing?
I've been good. Just living life, and when I say living life, just being a mother, sister, daughter, and just traveling with my family and just grinding. Every day is a grind, trying to figure out the next move, how we're going to make some money, and just trying to figure out the next step of my life.
Okay. Well, sounds like a normal life, because that's basic. Well, yes. I can't even say that's what everybody's doing, because everybody's not doing that. But you're making moves, which is great. So normally I like to ask my guests when they come on, where are you originally from?
I am originally from Brooklyn, New York. Okay. I live multiple places, but I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, so you live multiple places. So where are some of the places that you happen to live? I'm going to ask you some questions.
Everybody, y'all could tune in on a YouTube link. Okay, y'all don't have to watch this on my live, but y'all could tune in on a YouTube link if y'all would like. Okay, so state-wise, I lived in Pennsylvania. I lived in Florida. What else? Let me see. I'm trying to remember. We just moved a lot. I felt like a army brat. But it was too many states. It was just from school to school, like Queens, Long Island, Deer Park, Long Island. That's why I spent most of my time, 7 years, being brought up. Of course, Atlanta, Georgia, where I am now. I've moved back and forth multiple times. When I put on job applications a couple years ago, they asked me, where's all the places you live? And I had to put down like 28 different places, different like homes. And I'm like, oh my God. My mother's like, we lived here. And I'm like, why did we move so much? But it was my father, New Jersey. I'm trying to think of anywhere else. My mom, if she was on, she'd chime in, like, oh, we lived X, Y, and Z. But yes, multiple places within that.
Okay, so did that have to do with your father being in the music industry?
Yes, it had to do deal with him being in the music industry. And then also I think more so just finances as well too, just us up and leaving. But a lot of times it was my father, where he lived, and then also we had people trying to find my father, hurt him, so we had to be moved. And place like that. People don't know that part of my life.
Okay. So wow, that's pretty interesting.
Yes, baby. Yeah, he
Okay.
couldn't know that part of
So,
my life at all.
wow, wow, wow. You know what? That could be an entirely different show.
Yes.
But yeah, we're not going to talk about that part right now. We're going to have to come back with
Yeah.
a part two because I now you got me curious. But I want to talk about with you growing up because again, your father being the original ODB from the iconic group of the Wu Tang. But from what you were telling me and from some of the research that I did, you were pretty sheltered from the industry, although Wu Tang was pretty big. Now, was that on purpose?
That was on purpose. My father didn't want us a part of the music industry. He wanted to separate us. And as an adult, I can see why.
Mhm.
I can see why he didn't want us to be a part of the music industry. But yes, yeah, that was something I believe my mom and him discussed that, didn't want us a part of, but it just fell right into our lap, especially when he passed away. It
Mhm.
was given that, he told my mom even before he passed, he was just telling her, well, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do this. And she's like, Unique, I don't want to do none of this. I don't want to be a part of this and da da da. And once he passed, it's like he already knew. And
Mhm.
a lot of people, if you like really research my father and look deep into a lot of things that he say, he knew what was happening before it happened, or he could just
Mhm.
tell you, okay, this is what's gonna go down. So he told my mother everything she was going to go through, and she's going through everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so he
That
knew.
that's wow. That's pretty dang on interesting.
Mm.
So for you, then music was basically a distant thing, as a child, other than what you listened to, simply because of the fact that he kept you pretty distant from it. Now, were you guys able to listen to? Did he even allow you guys to listen to rap
Yeah,
music or anything
yeah.
like that? Or
He wrote his rhymes around us. We listened
okay,
to his music, but as children, we didn't really like, oh, what's going on, whatever. He used to take us to the studio. We are
okay,
actually, my brother my brother, Young Dirty Bastard. We're on
mm.
one of his songs.
Oh
Just
wow,
at the beginning, like a little skit. We like, it's the genius or whatever. I'm actually getting a tattoo. I'm working with these people to get a tattoo, and I want the lyrics written on me.
mm.
So he would bring us, we'd be around the music, especially my brother, Young Dirty Bastard. He's the one that will go on, he goes on tours now with the Wu Tang Clan, and recites and sings my father parts and everything.
Mm.
So he would keep us around, but he at the same time he would keep us distant because of all the negatives and some family and certain things like that. He would just separate us from. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
after he passed, it was just thrown right at us. And the first time I tell us in all the interviews, and when this question do come up, I let everybody know Method Man was the one that took me on the stage. I was like, come on the stage, took me on. And then I just seen all the love from the fans. I didn't know how big my father was. And that
Mhm.
was I think that was when I was 16 years old. And at that
Mm.
point, I didn't know how big my father was. And I was just like, I was taken back seeing that, all the love. I was like, wow, my father is famous.
Wow. Yeah. 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 And well, I had another question, but with that, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
What type of music were you into at 16? I mean, was it that type of music,
Let
Wu
me
Tang,
tell you,
that type of
I was
rap,
into
or
Spice Girls.
okay?
Backstreet Boys. My father, he bought me, like, that's when Blockbuster was around. People don't know
Okay.
about Blockbuster. He took me to Blockbuster and he got me the whole Backstreet Boys, like the VHS tapes and all
Oh
that.
wow.
He knew I was a big fan of Backstreet Boys and the Spice Girls and all that stuff. I forgot it was one. He wanted to get somebody for my birthday, and I can't remember the freaking name of the group. My mother would be telling me the name of the group. I forgot. It's some old song. Hold on, let me think. Rain something. I forgot the darn name of the song. And he was trying to get them for me to perform for my
SWV.
birthday. No, not SWV. It
Okay.
was a boy group, a young boy group.
New
Candy,
Edition. New Edition.
was it New Edition? Candy Rain or something like that. That was
Candy
them.
Rain. I
Candy
can
Rain,
hear the song in my
something.
head, but I don't think that was New Edition.
It wasn't New Edition. It was another group. I'm waiting for somebody to say something and pop up. Like, I know what the name was.
Somebody in the chat, I know you know the group, or look up the song Candy Rain.
I think that
I
was
can
called
actually
Candy
hear the
Rain or
rain that
something.
I can hear it in my
And
head, but I can't
he
remember.
was trying to get them for me. And I was like, what? He was like, Mama was like, yeah, he was trying to get the group and everything for you to come perform. And I was young at that point. I was
Mhm.
young. I was
Okay.
young.
So let's switch gears for a second because again, doing some research, you wanted to be an OGBYN because your mom got pregnant with your younger brother. Um, how did that end up changing? Because how do you
Oh,
go
Soul
from
for Real, Candy
soul
Rain.
for yes, soul
Thank
for
you,
real?
girl.
Because you
We
know
wanted
what?
to get them.
That would have bothered us all night long because the song is looping in my head right now. I can hear Candy Rain. I can't sing, so don't
Thank
even ask me
y'all.
to. Yeah, but thank you so much. But yeah, so you wanted to be an
Yeah,
OGBYN
OBGYN.
obstetrician. So why did you not end up pursuing that? What ended up happening?
Let me see. I think I didn't end up pursuing that. I lived in Georgia
Mhm,
when I graduated high school out here. And then I went to medical assistant school. And then I went to New York. Yeah, I went to New York and I went to attended Long Island University for nursing.
mhm,
And my whole financial aid and my loan had fell through or something. I was going to school for a semester and it fell through and I just didn't go back. It deterred me. They said something didn't go through and I owed so much money. So I was just like,
mhm,
get it. And I just kept moving on. And then got into working with people with intellectual disabilities. This is something my mom did. And I just love working with people, caring for people. And I started teaching them. And,
mm,
I became a craft specialist. So I've always been artsy. And I didn't really know until I got that position as a craft specialist. And I just did anything I can think of, I can create. I don't know what that's called, but anything, I'm telling you, anything in my head, if something I want to make, if you something you want me to make, I can create it. I don't know if it's like an imitation type thing. I can like draw something. I can look at something and actually draw it out. I don't know what it's called, but I got so much into art and everybody was like, did you go to school for that? And I'm like, no. And they said, you should. And they told me about art therapy and all that. So I was like, I really want to go towards art.
mhm.
Art is like a passion. It's just music and art is a passion of mine. It makes me happy. It's just something that it just does to me. And it also helping people in that way. And that's what I was doing for them. People that couldn't communicate, they started communicating to me through music and art. So I was like, bump being a doctor, bump being a nurse. I want to help people through art and music. So that's where I'm headed and geared down. Plus, additionally helping my family and us grow as one and trying to tie that all in together. So
That,
yeah.
that's very interesting. There's a gentleman that I listen to, Ed Milet, and he says things don't happen to you; they happen for you. And interestingly enough, sometimes, he talks about even when supposedly bad things happen to you, it's
Hmm.
really for your greater good. And the student loans fell through and you ended up having to go in another direction. But actually, in my opinion, what was happening was you were being directed in a path that you were actually supposed to
Hmm.
go. You weren't
Going.
supposed to be an OGBYN. And most people, they fight that. They're like, well, I want to do this, but that's not the
But
path
it's
that you're
not meant for
supposed to take.
you. It's like your path.
Right.
That's not your path.
Yeah. And the impact that you're making with art. And the thing is, it's tied to something that you love, which makes it even better. But let me ask you this. So the music business. Now you have people on the outside looking in at people with famous parents, and they tend to think that celebrity kids live extraordinary lives. What was it for you growing up with a dad like ODB?
Okay. Growing up with a dad like ODB, it's a twofold because one side it was just regular.
Hmm.
We didn't do nothing out of the ordinary, which is regular until we started stepping outside and
Hmm.
people started looking at like, oh, that's ODB, and people chasing him and chasing us, having to close out like stores. We go in the mall, they had to close down the stores and just have us just in the store and shopping and things like that. Even just store like we lived in Brooklyn. So I remember we lived on Rockaway Avenue and we went to the school down the block. And I tell you, the whole school followed us. The whole school followed us. But we lived right down the block. But it was a
Hmm.
respect thing. Nobody tried to hurt us. They knew where we were. It was just always a respect because my father never left his hood. He just everybody respected him. you know, and I say to a certain point because there were dangers at, you know, at times as well. But I think it was a real big respect thing. It was something I wanted to add. I don't forgot, but yeah.
It'll come back to you. We got time.
Yes.
We have time. So I want to touch on something, and if you don't want to talk about it, then you can just say no, and we will move on.
Mm-hmm.
November 3rd, 2004, your father passes away 2 days before his 36th born day.
Mm-hmm.
It's never easy losing a parent. I've lost both of mine. Never easy you never get over that. You just learn to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
How did your family cope with that loss? And again, if you don't want to talk about it, we can move on to the next question.
No, I appreciate you saying if I, you know, don't want to talk about it, that you're the first person to even say that. Thank you. I don't mind speaking on it. Everybody handled it different, you know, because it's not only me, my brother, young dirty bastard, my sister Shaquita, we have other siblings as well. And you know, also my mom, I think everybody took it in and really took pieces of it and really just embraced it and broke it down themselves. And you know, it's crazy. I think all the children still needs their father. You know, my father, you know, ODB, Russell Jones, we call him Unique. Everybody needs him. You know, I know everybody has questions and stuff, but for me, I can speak only for myself. I went to depression, you know, once I, you know, lost him. You know, I'm the oldest, and me and him had a really tight relationship where, you know, it was tight, but you know, it's still points that I feel like I didn't know him because he wasn't always around. But anytime he was around or anytime he would call, it was like, oh, put Nikki on the phone. My nickname for him is Nikki, my Aunt Nikki. He said I always look like her. Peace, Aunt Nikki. So he called me Nikki. He put, or Ashana, my middle name is Ashana. He like put Ashana on the phone or Nikki on the phone, and we would just talk, you know. And not having him there anymore, it was hard because it's just questions I always had. And I just stopped talking to people. I stopped being interested in sports. I was a real big sport person. I just really like buckled down, and I just was like a loner by myself until, like, you know, after a while I started, you know, to break out of that. But it was just, you know, of course, anger. I was mad at a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people, even people that was like in the studio with him, you know, when it happened. What else? Yeah, I was just angry because I'm like, what child wouldn't be angry that their parents no longer here anymore and they can't, you know, communicate with them. But as I, you know, grew up, I started to understand, you know, what it is. And, you know, he is still here with us. I always say that, you know, I do believe in that. And I still have my moments to this day that I will break down and cry. It's not as crazy as, you know, it was back then, but I still break down. I still have my moments. I'll wake up. I had a dream about him recently, and he was in there, and I woke up and I was like, he's still here. Like, it was so, like, it felt so realistic. Like, you could not tell me my father was not here with me. And that was hard for me to deal with. And then, you know, once in a blue, he'll pop in, and, you know, and I feel like that's him saying, hi, I'm here, and giving me that face. And, you know, and one thing that do get difficult because people like, oh yeah, your father's ODB, you know, it's amazing that you get to see him, but it's crazy because you are being reminded that your father's no longer here with you. You're constantly seeing him, you're constantly hearing him. It's a, you know, it's a gift, it's a blessing and a curse in one. So it's just like, yes, I get to see him, you know, but at the same time, I can't touch him. I can't talk to him. I can't hear him. You know, I can't really hear him, his up-to-date voice. You know, he will never meet my children, you know? So that's the part that I get choked up about and stuff like that. Like, I'm over here getting sad already. So let's move on.
All right, we gonna move on. And I thank you so much for sharing that
You're
with us.
welcome.
But I know exactly
Thank
what you
y'all.
mean. I know exactly what you mean. So let's move forward to 2015 because that brought a shift. You embark. We're talking about your father a lot, but you're so intertwined. So when people listen to this interview, I'm interviewing Taniqua, but her dad is such an integral part of what she's doing. I don't want people to think that I'm asking Taniqua about her father. I'm actually asking about her, and he's really tied into that.
I want to say something on that. Listen, my father, I am my father. Like, I am a part of him. I am his seed. So, some people like, oh, you like my brother, you imitate. I'm like, that's his goddamn father. Okay. Mm-hmm. And if you know my brother, you like, no, he ain't imitating. That's him. But we are all a part of him. He made us, and he blessed us with his legacy to live, to make sure he continues to live on, and not only him, just inspiring young youth, everybody that's underneath him and underneath us, to keep inspiring and pushing that on. And he is a unique, unorthodox individual, and he still inspires. So I don't mind, people asking me about questions about him and all that. Mm-hmm. It's just like, it is what it is. He made me, so why not? I'm embracing him, and I'm giving life back to people and also him. So yeah.
Great. So I'm going to finish that question I was asking. So you decide that you're going to keep his legacy alive and flourishing. And what are some of the ways that you did that, and you are doing that? Because I understand that you also manage your younger brother, Young Dirty Bastard. And I saw a picture of him, and I was like, holy.
He looked just like him. So I want to make a correction. I don't manage him. I assist him in any and everything that he needs.
Okay.
My brother, we have a manager that manages over my mom, the estate, my father's estate, myself, my sister Shaquita, my brother, Young Dirty. His name is Messiah Jacobs. He manages us. And then, when my brother, I always say, right, that boy manages himself. Mm-hmm. He makes the deals. He brings deals in for us, not saying all of them go through. My brother, Young Dirty Bastard, is a hustler, like, for real. And he's somebody that I look up to as a mentor, because just watching how he move and conducts himself, not saying that everything is correct, but mm-hmm. He's been through it. He's been on tours for years. He's been in that industry for years. And it's things that I'm older than him, and he's teaching me till this day how to move, how to encounter and interact with people, how to make deals. It's just a whole slew of things. So when it comes to him and me, myself, I assist him on any and everything that he needs done. Like, for example, he has a show coming up in Colorado in June. He needs dancers. He needs a band. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to find those dancers. I'm going to find a band who need a choreographer. I'm going to find them. I'm going to make it work. So that's what I do. Anything from here, from anything that he needs, detail, anything, I got him. So that's what I do. Anything like that.
So why did he, and this may be a rhetorical question.
Go ahead.
But why did he decide to get into the music business?
At first he didn't care for it. He wasn't rapping or anything. My mom was like, she would, play with us. Oh, what you gonna do? Da, 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 da. Had him rapping, whatever. And then he said he always would be around my father. My father always take him. He was on Apollo and things like that with my father. And one day he just started rapping, and he rapped for my father. Mm-hmm. My father was like, "You can't rap." So he was like, "What? Yes, I can." So he went back and started practicing and everything. And now this is him. It's like he took on this thing. And also when my father passed, RZA came on and, took my brother underneath his wing. Mm-hmm. And my brother was going down a dangerous path. People don't know about that. He was very hard-headed. He didn't listen, dealing with, not having that guidance, that male guidance. And people don't realize that is so important to have in today's society. You need that male. Yes, a woman power, but men and boys need their fathers, and he didn't have that. So he was veering off, dealing with, he was in gangs, he was going different ways and all that. So my mom spoke to RZA, and RZA decided to take him under his wing. And he was like, listen, if you want to be a part of this, he showed him what it was. He brought him on. If you like this and this is what you want to do, you gotta leave all that alone. My brother left all that alone. He was like, okay, I'm out. And so, he just took him under and really helped him out, and I am grateful that, RZA did that for him, because that did change my brother's life, because he was headed to, something else. So yeah.
So now I got to follow that up
Mm-hmm.
because Wu Tang. I mean, it was a lot of them.
Yeah, it was a
It's
lot
a
of
lot of
members.
dudes. It
Affiliates
is. And,
small.
if you're familiar with Wu Tang Clan, it was about 1,500 of them. It was a lot of brothers on stage. So my question to you, with you saying that about your younger brother beginning to go down a dangerous path, did the young men in the group reach out and say, okay, we're going to kind of step in? Or was it more of we're going to respect his wife's privacy and let them deal with whatever, how they deal with that as a family? Because it's interesting that you say, after your brother kind of started getting into things, then Reza said, you know what, I need to step in. So did any of them
You talking about the other
do
members?
yes, did they do that prior to that happening, or did they just pretty much?
No, my mom and RZA, because RZA is like, we always looked at him as he's our cousin, but we always looked at him as an
Oh,
uncle.
okay.
Yeah, RZA and Jizza are our cousins.
Oh,
My
okay.
father, ODB, Jizza, and RZA are the originators of the Wu Tang Clan.
Hmm.
Also Divine Diggs is RZA's brother. And then so much it just goes down. But those are the three top members that started the group, from what I've been told. So my mom and RZA, even when my father was here, that we always had a tight knit relationship. Families, we used to go over the house and all that. So my mom, reached out to him, and they would conversate, and he'd know what's going on within the family, whatever. So him getting into music and wanting to do that, they spoke about it and they came together, and he took Barson underneath. Well, his name is Barson. Took him underneath his wing. But any of the other members, no, we wasn't that close to any of the other members like that.
Okay.
Things that my brother been through on tour behind closed doors with the members and all that. Them speaking to him, because they always spit knowledge to my brother. If he wanted to take it in or not, they let him know what it is and all that. But that's things that he went through. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, with that, sometimes you have to go through things in order to become the man or the woman that you become.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I look back on my life and people say, okay, well, you're all of this. I'm like, yeah, but some shit had to happen
Mm-hmm.
in order for me to be what
Life
you see
lessons.
before you now. So, again, here we go with the things don't happen to you, they happen for you.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things that actually happened for him makes him who he is when you actually see him on stage performing today, when you
Yep.
see him in just a normal walk of life, and you as well. But I have to ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
growing up hip hop, what was it like being on that show?
Okay, so growing up hip hop, at the beginning of everything, it was surreal. It was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be on TV.
Hmm. Well, how did they approach you with that? How were you approached with
They
that?
approached my brother first.
Okay.
He thought it was fake. He was like, somebody hit him up on Instagram. He
Mm.
was like, nah, this is fake or whatever. And then, they pursued it, and we passed it off to my manager, and my manager checked it out, and then it was like, oh no, this is real. And that's how they was hitting people up. And I guess this is a trending thing. This is how they kind of reach out to people now, through Instagram. So once they reached out to my brother, they wanted him on the show or whatever. My manager, trying to figure out how can we tie in more of the family, how can we get somebody else on. So it was like, okay, Taniqua already assists him in things like, we did Rock the Bells. Like, I've been doing this before growing up hip hop or anything. Like, I was assisting my brother, everybody's always asking why you not his manager or road manager, things like that, because I'll just get things together.
Mhm.
We was always traveling together. So it just made sense. So they was like, okay, you're gonna be, kind of like his manager, assistant, something like in that nature. So it was just like, okay, they interviewed me and everything, and they found that I was a great fit for the show. And they put me on. I wasn't supposed to be a cast member, and so it turned out to be like in this little grayish area. And then after me getting on, they told me that the people was actually loving me, the production was loving me, the directors, and so they started putting me in more scenes and everything, because everybody was saying like, you're so real. you're not fake. And I'm like, well, who the hell else am I supposed to be? And they was just like, well, people come on here and they just change. They're not the same person. They start acting like somebody. I can't be nobody else. All I could be is Taniqua. So whatever y'all see over there, y'all gonna see on here. And if my brother gets me mad, I'm gonna definitely approach him and tell him what it is, and it's not gonna be no different. So they just fell in love with that. So yeah.
So you guys were actually on the show together.
Yes, me and him was on the show together. I was actually in more episodes than him because he was all over the place. He was touring. My brother at that time, we had a lot going on. My brother was Wu Tang was just soaring, and they always soared, but that year was just like blowing up. We had Mics of Men that came out. We had Wu Tang got the street naming, so it was so much stuff going on. He was on freaking, oh my god, every Tonight Show. I forgot what the freaking show was. He was on, I forgot the darn it, what's the name of the shows? He was on so many damn shows. Today I forgot the show that comes on in the morning.
In the morning, you got the Today Show.
It's in New York. What you just said, Today Show? What did you say?
Show?
Yes,
Today
that
Show?
right there. He was on that. He was on a couple shows with the Wu Tang, and he was just gone. He was gone. He was really gone. So they had to work with his schedule. So I filled in a lot. That he wasn't there. So I had to be put in a lot for him. So yeah, that's how I end up just making my name, people getting to know me as well.
Okay. So now with the estate, you were actually helping to run the estate?
No, because we have to be correct with the wordings, because we had said something and it popped up in the papers when baby moms, and they said, oh, they run the estate. And they was like, oh, we got to be careful what we say, because we could get in trouble saying that the children runs the estate. We don't run the estate.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me
No. That's not even for you. I'm just, that happened. And I was like, yo, people are just crazy. We help assist. So if any children if they have a deal that somebody approached them with, we could bring it, to our manager and let them know, like, listen, it's this merchandise deal with this shirt, whatever they would like to, do a licensing deal. And he'll take my manager, Messiah Jacobs, will look into it. He'll look and scan it and see if it's something that, that would be good and appropriate for ODB, because we just don't take on anything. We got to make sure we have our thing is a credible estate, and it's just, we can't take on any and everything. It's a legit business. So he will look into that, and if it works, it goes through, we assist it with that. So we do things like that. Or for example, we're doing a documentary with A&E, and me, I assist my mom, my whole family, and I'll dress them, a stylist. I'll go ahead, sometimes do makeup, do the hairstyling. So it depends on exactly what it is. So we just say we assist in different things like that when it comes to the state.
So can you talk a little bit about the documentary? So what is that about, and when will that be out?
Yes, I could talk about it.
Please do.
So I can't really say who's in it yet. I can't say that it's definitely going through. It's greenlit. We will be doing screenings in the beginning of August. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm like, thank God. I think LA and New York. So we're looking forward to that. And it's A&E and Post Films. And I just want everybody to look out for it, because it's coming, and we're just excited for people to get to see, all the people that's actually in it, and, just to hear the wonderful stories. We sat down behind scenes with one person. I can't even say the name. And it was amazing. It was amazing to be near this person, first of all. Somebody my father worked with and had a very dear relationship with this person. And it was just amazing to hear the stories that was coming out of this person's mouth. And it was just like, oh my God. And it was emotional. And it's always been emotional. Anytime I met Grandmaster Flash at the Universal Hip Hop Museum, he was like, your father, ODB, KRS-One, your father. I get these explosive stories from these amazing, great people. I'm like, what? They're like, oh my God, what's his name? Ed Lover. I'm friends with Ed Lover daughter. I ended up meeting Ed Lover. And he like almost broke down crying, telling me like your father. He showed me like pictures of him he had, and all. I'm just like, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, these are greats. Like, and they're talking to me and telling me like your father.
Yeah.
It just is mind blowing. It's mind blowing. This all happened this year. All the people I'm talking about. I'm just like, it's crazy.
And you know what? It's one thing they say is it says a lot about you when you're not in a room. Now we know, of course, your father is no longer here, but the fact that when people can speak about you and be truthful about it and be glowing about it, when someone else is present, it says a lot about how, and this is why it's always so important, ladies and gentlemen, to show up authentic. Kind of what you said with being on growing up hip hop. When you show you who you are authentically, that sticks because there was no faking the funk, and you could really see that, and it came out in his music. I loved his music, and your father would actually crack me up, because I actually listen to the Wu Tang in the gym every day when I'm in the gym, because I listen to the KRS-One station on Amazon, and they play a lot of Wu Tang. And they play, or I'll listen to, the Wu Tang station, and of course they play a lot of Wu Tang. And your father was hilarious, and his rap style was real interesting. And I think I told you, my favorite song was, "Where's My Money?"
Yeah.
Give me my money. That's my theme song. but and I think I was telling you earlier, it was interesting that when I would listen to his music, I would be like, yo, this dude can really sing.
Yes, the whole family, his sisters, they just, that was the best time. We would all get together. It's like a family reunion, and that's just his brothers and sisters. And then he have his cousins too. And they just be belting and just singing. I can't do that. I wasn't gifted with that. But my father, people say he can't sing, but you could not tell him that. He could not tell that man. That man, he said he could sing, and he's gonna sing. No matter how off tune he was or whatever, my father was gonna sing. And one of his people he looked up to was Rick James. He loved Rick James. So yeah, his whole I say Ninja Please, it's called something else, but I'm gonna say Ninja Please. On his album cover, he's dressed up like Rick James and everything. So yeah, our father's crazy.
Yeah, that was good. But let's talk about your acting. Your acting. Well, first of all, did you reach out to my brother Show
Yes, I
Mathis?
did. Yes, I did. I sent over my my demo reel, and also I have to actually get back into touch with him. I just sent him that I would be on this as well. I believe it was him I sent it to. My demo reel and my resume, because I was just hyped. Once I got that done, I was like, I'm sending this. So I still got to send everything out, whatever. So yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, so yeah, you did a film, Brushed by a Stranger.
No, that's not me.
So then why?
I don't know.
That's what it's showing up as.
I don't know why that's up there, because I was like, what? So I know I didn't do it, but I needed to make sure. So I went and watched it, and it was a black girl. And I'm just like, that's not me. So I don't know if anybody put that up there for credit, because IMDb, you get credits off of there. So I got credits off for Growing Up Hip Hop, and it shows I have credits off for Brush, but I reported it. And I told them, I said, this is not me, and it's still up there. So I have to keep reporting it and letting them know this is not my work. This is not my work. If it's not, I want, I didn't really dive into, getting in and actually getting a role, but anything that is me, I want that to represent, I want that to be a representation of my work. If it's not me, I don't want to fake the funk. Oh yeah, that's me. Nope, because that's not me. And I'm not gonna say I could do better, but Taniqua can act. So I just, I don't want anything that's not me, that doesn't represent me, to be up there for me. But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've been trying to get that damn thing off of there. So I've been working on my profile.
Okay. So what are your plans as far as acting in the future?
Acting in the future, just applying myself to different roles. I was actually talking to Wavy, and I was looking at Backstage. He's like, nah, that's a scam. And I'm like, oh,
Backstage?
Yeah, backstage. And I'm like, all right. And they have so many different roles and all that. So I was gonna pay the fee, but I'd rather just go on Actors Access and apply, whatever. I also talked to my cousin Riza. He told me to pass my resume. So I didn't do that yet because we've been going through little things, whatever. So I'm waiting till everything clear up to go ahead and pass that to him. But yeah, I want to really dive into my career, my acting career, but it's just like I have so much stuff going on with my family. And within these few months right now, we have what I'm working on right now. So I'm gonna just hop into this real quick because I was excited about it. Right now, which I meant to mention earlier, is about art. So I want to do a gallery. I get my father's work in a gallery, and there's so many people around the world that does so much artwork. It's to this day, there's people sending me artwork of my father from Belgium, from all across the world, Portugal, and I'm just like, I had this idea. I'm like, when I reach out to all these artists or post something up, like a flyer, a video, requesting people to submit their work, and I'm going to display that in the States, whatever, in a gallery, and just showcasing all the love from artists, of my father. So I end up walking past this gallery in Buckhead. It's called Buckhead Art Company, and I reached out to them yesterday. And as soon as I told, I said, it's 50th anniversary of hip hop coming up, and also, this is who I am, and this is what I want to do. And it was like, we're excited, we want to do it. I was like, what? You want to collaborate? And I was just like, that was so easy. And I don't realize the potential I have in the what I can make happen. People like Taniqua, you can get so many people behind you. You can do this, you can do that. And I'm like, I'm just Taniqua, They're like, you don't understand. And I'm starting to realize and see my power and my gift. I'm like, and also, my father is an amazing man, and then people really loved him. So it was automatic. And I'm just waiting for those emails to come through. They want to collab with me. They already have 3 artists, whatever. And I'm just like, I'm so excited because I'm going to be a curator. And I want to submit my own piece, not just have artists. I'm an artist myself. And I always said I'm not an artist, but I am an artist. I feel like everybody is an artist in their own right. Art is art. It could be funky, it could be loopy, it could be whatever, it can be just fine art, it could be whatever you make it. You are an artist. And I love to express myself through art, and I just want to also contribute a piece to my father. So I'm doing that, and that's something I did, and I'm doing myself, and I'm gonna bring my team apart. But I'm so happy because it's me. This is me. So I'm doing, and it's going to be in Atlanta. And we're trying to make it around the 50th anniversary because they're actually having a concert in New York. So we trying to get everything around the same timeline, and the same time everything's going to drop the screenings for A&E thing. So that, and also start booking shows for my brother. So I wasn't confident on that, but I did a lot of research, and I'm working on that, and I'm about to start, gearing up, and I'm gonna be booking shows and everything. So it's like I'm trying to have my own life, and then I have my family. And this is my life too. And there's no splitting the two. I tried to split it apart. I try to split it, and Taniqua just do her own thing. I can't do that. And I'm like, okay, T, you gotta do for yourself. It's kind of hard. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna work on this family. And at the same time, I'm gonna, do my own career. But at the same time, it's really, we gotta really push this legacy and really get things going. Because once we get it to the peak, to head where we want it, everything is just gonna blossom.
So see, now this is a podcast, and it's about to turn into a coaching session. Because I'm a coach. I'm a mindset, language empowerment coach. And girl, you said some stuff and you triggered me. Well, first of all, there is an amazing woman in the audience that is listening, Leah LQ Queen. She is absolutely amazing. And she said it will never be perfect, just go for it. Okay. It's never perfect. And that's so true. But you said something that kind of took me aback a little bit. You said, I'm just Taniqua, but you're so much more than that. And, when I'm coaching people, I always tell them that it's all about their mindset. And I want everyone listening to this to think about this. There are 8 billion people in the world, but there's only one you. So there's no such thing as it's just, because there are 8 billion people on this planet. But if you looked at those 8 billion people, only one of you exists. And that is just so amazing, because we are all that unique, and we all have such unique gifts. With you wanting to do your own thing, you will definitely find space for that. It may not be the season for that right now, because you have other things, that you're doing. It's all about what you're prioritizing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're prioritizing family, that's fine. But I would just humbly suggest that sometime in the very near future, you definitely carve out Taniqua Jones time, because you'll never be really fully happy until you're moving in your purpose.
Yes.
It's great doing something for everybody else, but unless we're moving in our purpose, there's always a nagging thing of something's missing. That's something that's missing is you doing, excuse my French, shit for you. So enough of the coaching. But you said something.
I appreciate that, though.
Yeah, girl.
That's one of my battles.
Yeah, but you know what? Everyone goes through that. Everyone goes through that. Trying to balance things. But you said something else when you reached out to the art gallery and you asked them a question and you were surprised at their answer. Most people are surprised when people say yes. And the reason they're surprised is because they never ask. Yeah. And oftentimes people are waiting for you to ask. So that's the other part that I could, the other coaching part. It's free of charge today, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be afraid to ask. The only thing to say is no.
And I'll be telling people that, and I'm like, yo, Taniqua, take your own advice. Take your own advice. It's just so many things that I want to do. And when I get those yeses and it just be so easy, I'd be like, I waited all this damn time and I could have been did this.
Because you know what? And they're sitting there waiting on you. And it's this book that I was reading. And in the book, it's called Ask. And the person relays that story that they wanted something from this mogul. And they were so afraid. And then when they finally did ask, the mogul said, absolutely. And she says, well, that was easy. He said, well, I was just waiting for you to ask. And she said, well, I thought you would say no. And he said, well, why are you answering for me? And that's what so many people do. You're answering for the other person.
You're set up mentally like, oh, this probably can't happen or whatever. And, I have so many people that love me and so many people that backs me and support me. And like, you can do this. You can do this. And one of my heaviest supporters, I have a lot of support, so I don't know about getting bad, but somebody that I'm really close to is Wavy, and he like, yo, when you gonna do this? That he gets in my butt about stuff. And I was just like, I did it. I did it. And I'm like, once you get that momentum and that rush of this greatness that you actually completed something, it is not completed, but you surpassed that point of, okay, putting it down instead of just writing it down on paper, you actually went and made the step to make it happen. And I'm like, I could do anything now. I could do everything. Now I'm like, okay, book shows, let's go. Listen, what else I gotta do? I gotta do this. Let's do it. Like, I'm ready. And it just feels really good. It feels really good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Massive action. Take massive action. Ladies and gentlemen, when you take massive action, one or two things happen. It either works or it doesn't. So if it doesn't work, you throw away what doesn't work and you keep what does and you build on that. But if it does work, you keep building, and then you surround yourself with people like Wavy Jones. And with that, let me ask you about this brother.
Yes.
So what's up with these videos of y'all on the schoolyard running track? I was sitting there saying, I don't want anybody to fall.
I'm glad we didn't fall because that would affect that. Excuse my language. So me and Wavy, when we together, we just have a lot of fun. And he has sent me some videos like, yo, let's do this or whatever. But the track one, he was racing somebody, and I was like, I could beat you. He was like, no, you can't. Like, I'm fast. I'm like, nah. Because in my head, I'm like, no tall dude that is gonna be running no fast. It's not gonna beat me. So my confidence, he was like, well, your confidence is crazy. He actually started getting a little like, okay, probably she can beat me. And so I went and visited him, and he ended up finding this track or whatever. And I was like, all right, let's go. And we set up the little camera. I set up my camera, he set up his. And we just started running. And he whipped my butt. He whipped my butt. But I told him I want to come back for another one because I didn't have the right support for these babies right here,
Okay.
So,
that's out of my.
So I said, I'm going to try this again. But yes, fair and square, Wavy Jones beat me in this run, so it was
it fair and square? Were you properly equipped?
I was more properly equipped than him because he had jeans on. So I give it to him. He had jeans on, but he had his little Air Max sneakers on. So I had Vans on, and that's slippery. That's a slippery slope right there.
So if you guys were skateboard, you'd have kicked his ass.
Nope.
With the Vans, I mean, you had on Vans.
I'm gonna tell you this. I skateboarded and almost broke my ankle one time. So
okay, well, I was trying to help you out because you had on Vans, and Vans are that's what skateboarders use. I was trying to help you out.
I had to be honest with you. I ain't gonna fake the funk. I would have broken ankle. He probably been better off. He probably won that too in the skateboarding because I can't do that one.
Hey, it is what it is. But we're about to wrap this up. But please make sure you reach out to Leah. Make sure you reach out to Leah. She is absolutely amazing. But you now
just send me your information.
I definitely will. I definitely will because she just started this amazing film festival.
I'm starting to see stuff now. But go ahead.
Yeah, she just started this amazing film festival. As a matter of fact, since I'm on here, let me just say what it is really quickly, because this is a filmmaking podcast. So I'm going to shout out Leah's film festival. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, I am trying to find it. Blame it on my head, not my heart. But here it is. A Royal Chance Film Festival. Leah Queen. Check it out. Check it out. She is absolutely amazing. So, that may be, I don't know if you guys are going to be entering your documentaries into any film festivals, Cannes, Sundance, whatever. That may be a look for you guys. But I will definitely send you her information. But really quickly, before we go, when you guys came to Philly, that was the first time you had met Wavy, or did you know him previously?
I've known Wavy for about 2 years.
Oh, okay.
I know Wavy for a minute now.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, wow, y'all really know. Can you share, or is that?
Yeah, I can share.
Sure.
I met Wavy on Instagram. Okay. I didn't know that he was an actor or anything like that. He popped up on my Explore page. Actually, he popped up on my Explore page, and they have this filter thing where they make you look old. Mm-hmm. So I seen this person with this old face, but I know he was young, but I'm like, what the fuck is going on with your face? And I did LOL or something. He responded back like something like, you don't like my picture or something. And I'm just like, yo, who are you? Like, I didn't know who he was. And then I just hopped in his DM, and we've been chopping it up from there, and we just been really good friends since then. So yeah.
That's beautiful.
On my Explore page, and
he's a good brother. My first time meeting him was when the both of you, actually the first time meeting, I met you both at the same time.
Oh, okay.
When you came to Philadelphia, but I would love to explore this art thing with you more because as you know, when you guys came here for the Wu Tang event, that I think that would be an amazing event for you to come and to showcase your art.
Oh, I would love to do that.
That would be so. I'm gonna talk
to like go around and travel around and actually show off the work. That would be dope. I would love to come to Philly and do that.
Yeah, that would be great. So we, you know how we put things on. You know how we do.
Yes.
So what's next for Miss Jones?
What's next for me? Even though it is helping the family, but actually booking shows is something that, not only for my brother, but people have been reaching out to me and like, oh, can you help me? Can you help me? A lot of artists been reaching out to me, and I'm like, they must see something I don't, or know something I don't know.
See, there
But
you go with that again. There you go. There you go. Do I have to go back into coach mode? There you
okay,
go.
they see this greatness, and I'm seeing it too, and I'm like, I'm gonna apply that. I'm like, okay, if I can go ahead. My brother just texted me. I don't know what he mean by send old skit. I don't know what that means. But anyways, if I can go ahead and book these shows for my brother, I'm going to do the same for artists that really speaks out to me. I'm not going to work with artists that I don't really feel the music, but if I feel like if I feel your music and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing, I will back you. And I want to, not only represent my brother, but I want to represent other artists, upcoming artists as well, and get them booked and get them seen as well. So I'm so sorry, my client's thing going on. Give me 1 second.
Oh no, take your time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you are absolutely live, and we are live.
Yes.
So she's back, but this is what happens when you're live.
So I want to do this for artists. So, at the same time, I'm still like trying to figure out my niche on what it is. I know I love art, so I want to apply that. I want to get into acting. And, I've been told that I can be a great, road manager and things like that. So I want to see how I can help somebody in their career when it comes to music. My being me, Taniqua, I'm always going to be in the music industry because that's just where my father is at. And this is me. This is my family. This is my legacy. So I feel like once I start doing this for my brother, I just want to go ahead and just help other people around that, get them booked and get them out there. And that's called what, a music agent, whatever. I don't know if I'm going to take it that far, but I want to do that for people. So I'm going to see if this is one of my niches as well in helping people. And yeah, so.
Well, that's great.
Right here, plus everything else. But I really want to get into art. They have Art Basel, Miami, with me starting with the gallery. I want to eventually get the artwork down to Art Basel, get it up there, and also, bring in my brother and also do vending, merch. We also have, merchandise coming out for my father. So, yeah, that's the future. The future is just pushing more for my father's legacy and extending that on, opening up, more deals. And I'm not giving up on, my passions at all, my art, and, being also, I keep saying art, even in film is art, is art. It's me expressing myself. So I really want to dive into that because I know I can do it. I know I'm a great actor. And my coach was Sheikh Muhammad. So I want to go back to him as well. He's an amazing acting coach. Tap back in with him and take some more acting lessons and really get myself, involved, in this. So yes, that's my future.
Yeah, and you're in Atlanta, so you are down there with some absolutely amazing people. Sean Mathis is a phenomenal guy. Another brother that I'm really good friends with, Kevin Savage.
Okay.
He's on a lot of television shows. Another good brother, Neil Carr. He's on doing some really good things, and some other people. So I can definitely do an intro with those phenomenal people because and I don't introduce people to everybody. I don't do that. But I've talked to you quite a few times, so you are. So where can people find you? And more importantly, website, and you said you guys have merchandise. If it's for sale, where's the website that people can go get some merchandise?
So
I'm going to go grab me a shirt.
We're still developing all of it. My sister is one of the designers.
Okay.
She's one of the designers. Amazing work that she has for some of the t-shirts that we're coming out with. Right now, we do not have we actually bought like 6 domains. So we started out with that. So we bought the domains. So now we just got to get in the works of, seeing what actually works and how if we're going to do drop ship or however we're going to get this out to the people and set up the website and everything. So we don't have the website as of yet, but if you want to find me, I feel like the best way you could find me, and I'm very active on my Instagram, is Taniqua Jones 404. Facebook, Taniqua Jones 404. It's across the board. And my email is up on my Instagram. My Instagram is like my main promoting site and just getting in contact with me. I'm very active on there. People have gotten in contact with me. This is what I didn't mention. For Father's Day, just ended up falling on Father's Day. Some tattoo artists reached out to my sister and they want to do a portrait of my father, in dedication to him, whatever, tribute.
Nice.
And they was like, it was just so easy to access y'all were just on it. And I was like, yeah, that's how we are. We're not like, too good. We're not like that. We're not like that, and I think that's a misconception people have, with dealing with people, they, say celebrities or celebrity kids, whatever. No, I'm human. So reach out. I'm here. We can talk. So me and my sisters actually going down to Florida to get this portrait, and they're going to videotape everything, record everything. And it's going to be something big and a great tribute. I already have my father on my back, but they're just going to extend the whole thing and do this whole chambers thing for me. So I'm excited, me and my sister.
Well, that is absolutely amazing. But
yes.
To the accessibility, you know that in the very near future that's going to change.
Oh yeah,
you ain't going.
It's starting to do a little something.
You can be looking at.
I'm like, okay, I can't talk to this person, or I gotta. So I have my account set up. If anybody have a business account, you have your primary, your general, and then your messages in your bank, whatever. So it's like the more I grow and my account grows, I start seeing it. And I'm just like, okay, I have to separate, or I take a break, because it do become overwhelming dealing with so many people. It's a lot of people that, constantly hitting you up, and it's, good things. People just saying, you inspire me. Your father inspired me. I love watching you, this and that. Or you get some crazy stories, or you get some stuff that people just don't say that to me. I want to have your baby. Like, what are you talking about? It's a whole bunch of stuff. So it's just like, you got to separate, you got to really separate everything. Yeah. So it's getting crazy.
You want to have your baby? Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, people can't do that.
Wait, let me hold on. Let me back that up. They want to have your baby, or they want you to have their baby? Because
it can go both ways.
I really don't know how that would work, ladies and gentlemen. If they want to have your baby, I don't know.
Yeah, we to have their baby, and it's a lot. And I just
unless we got some in vitro going on, I have no idea how else that would work. But Taniqua, this has been so much fun. You have definitely got to come back.
Definitely.
Once some things kind of gel, because I definitely want to hear more about the documentary after it's released. It would be great if we could do a showing here, but we'll talk about all that. The weekdays is such a great interview. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was so much fun. I had such a ball, and again, you have to come back. And it was really such a pleasure meeting you in person, and it was just such a pleasure spending this past hour with you. So I look forward to doing it again. Take care of those lovely kids.
Thank
you. And hopefully the next time we set up an interview, it'll go as smoothly as this one did.
Yes, the last time it was crazy.
But again, again, if you out there doing your parenting thing, being a father of two amazing daughters, that's number one in my book. That is my kids are my number one priority, as yours. So I ain't never mad at nobody for doing their parenting thing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy that you decided to spend the last hour and 3 minutes and 38 seconds with myself and the amazing, who can do any damn thing in the world, Taniqua Jones. She's on fire. Yes. She is really going places. She's doing some things. And I'm just so happy that I can now call her a friend. So if you like the episode, please share it on Apple Podcasts, give it a review, give it a rating, watch it on YouTube Live and all that other good stuff. And this is how I always like to end my show. Please love this like a hobby, but above all else, treat this like a business. And on that note, to your success, everyone have an absolutely
Thank you so
amazing,
much.
phenomenal week. I'm going to see Dave Chappelle tomorrow.
Oh, go ahead. I'm like, I wish you could say hi to ODB. ODB, go
I don't think I'm gonna be. He'd be like, no, you stay back. But yeah.
Enjoy the show, and thank you for having me again. I had such an amazing time on the show. I look forward to doing this again.
Yes, and I look forward to seeing you in Philly again. We're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to,
Yes, I'm coming back to Philly. I had a great
absolutely.
time in Philly with y'all. I had a great time.
And next time will be even better because we're doing some things. So next time will be even better. So, ladies and gentlemen, have an absolutely phenomenal night and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you,
Peace,
everybody,
everyone.
for tuning in.
All right, take care.
Peace.